Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. And I wanted to thank everybody for showing up for this rendition of Tech Tuesdays. So we're going to talk about a few things today, and the few things that we're going to be talking about is going to be Excel. We're here to learn the foundations of it. We're just going to go through the basic routes of what Excel is. Excel is a powerful, time-saving, and impactful tool that's going to help you master your workflow, and it's going to be something that hopefully you'll find pretty useful, and hopefully we'll be able to learn something here and be able to better enable ourselves to do our jobs better. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, and we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here, and hopefully if we have any questions we'll be able to pose those at the end of this discussion. But we're going to start off with just a simple question here. Why does Excel matter to QED? Okay, whether you're working on a QA report, supporting the maintenance planning, tracking some logistics, analytics, any of those things, Excel can be a versatile tool critical to your mission. And let's be real, we've all opened up a spreadsheet with 17 tabs, color-coded cells, and formulas that look like they're beyond a NASA control center. Well, that's good news, because we're here to find out exactly what a spreadsheet is and hopefully become a spreadsheet wizard by the end of this course. Because Excel is so vast in the things that it has to offer, we're going to try to break these things down into a more consumable base. That way we're able to address all of the information that we need to, and also make sure that we're not leaving anything out if possible. And the great thing is about it is, if you should find something that you need to go over in detail a little bit further, you can post those questions via email, and hopefully I can address those things. So today's goal, we're hopefully going to learn how to navigate Excel confidently. We're going to talk about a couple of formulas that some of you may know, but if not, they're going to be some useful formulas for day-to-day work here. We're going to talk about some ways to organize and highlight, maybe even clean up some of your data so you can speak clearly about it, and some simple formulas and layouts and tips that can help you level up your reporting game. This session is all about building confidence and saving time, so you can spend less time checking around and more time making data-driven decisions that support our mission of delivering excellence in the naval vessel maintenance and readiness. So let's go ahead and dive right on into this. All right. So what you see here on your screen, and everybody should be able to see this now, but what you're looking at here is a simple Excel spreadsheet. Now this Excel spreadsheet has a couple of different things that you may or may not know about. So we're going to go through the time and make sure that everything that we're addressing here is something that you'll be able to identify by the end of this course. All right, so let's start off with the ribbon. Okay, so the ribbon is this area right here. If you can see my cursor, this is the ribbon. The ribbon is a strip of tabs and buttons that are at the top of the window above the work area. It helps you organize your Excel tools into a logical group, and it's located beneath the title bar. So this area right here is where your ribbon location is. So all of these things right here is a part of your ribbon. And this is a useful tool because these are like quick connects to things that you're going to be able to use to customize your worksheet. All right. So the next thing is tabs. These icons up here are what you know as tabs. Tabs are a collection of functionally related controls and menus located across the top of your ribbon. So you have your file, home, insert, share, page layout, formulas, your data, review, help, draw tab, and we're not going to be able to get into all of these things in this one session, but if you select on some of these, you'll be able to see some of the things that you can do to enhance your worksheets. You'll be able to share them. You can work with your page layout. Here's some different shortcuts to your formulas. Here's a little helpful tip. Helps you to build your formulas pretty easily and things of that nature. But all of these are going to be a part of your tab. So we're going to navigate back onto our home tab, and we're going to go on to the next section, which is your worksheet. Now, your worksheet is down here at the bottom of the screen. And here sometimes you're working to different worksheets, and these little tabs here are where you can navigate between one worksheet or another. So that way, if you have like Excel windows representing the individual spreadsheet with rows and columns and charts, these can be found down at the bottom of your screen. And these can be a single worksheet, such as what we have here, or they can also be multiple worksheets where data is kind of like nested into. We're going to talk about what a workbook is. Now, the workbook is actually the file that contains one or more worksheets. So when you have a couple of different worksheets inside of your Excel file that you're working with, it becomes a workbook. It's just like simple like a notebook. So you got a worksheet inside of your actual notebook, but when you have multiple sheets, it becomes a workbook. And this is used to group related data together in one file. It's the entire Excel file you open or save. So this is your workbook. All right. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is our marquee. And let me know if I'm going too fast for anyone so I can slow down and articulate this information a little bit better. So our marquee is the actual box that highlights the cell that we're working in, cell or row. It's just that green tab that green border here that works around the cell. That's called a marquee. And the marquee is an animated dash border around the selected cell, indicating that this is the active selected cell, especially for a copy and paste. It appears when a cell or range is selected. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead into our next tablet, which is going to be the File tab. All right. You'll notice your File tab over here in the back. This File tab, once you become more advanced in Excel, is sometimes known as the backstage view. And it provides access to other options, and we're going to go ahead and select that now. And this file tab exposes things such as your save as tab here. You can open your worksheets or workbooks here. You can print an Excel sheet here. You can access settings. You can export. These are the things that's going to be in what's known as the backstage view or under your File tab. And it's going to be located in the top left-hand corner, of your Excel workflow station. All right, so we're just going to simply close this back out, and we're going to come back out into our workstation. And then we're going to talk about the quick access tools. Now, the quick access tools are things that you're going to be able to utilize that's going to be stuff that you can normally get to, that you normally always use, and that's going to be right here in this location here. And the good thing about the quick access tools is that you can customize those to be able to do the things that you normally do for your workflow. These are going to be frequent commands. They're going to always be visible, even when the ribbon is minimized. You can locate that above the ribbon near the title bar. Then we're going to talk about the status bar. Now, the status bar, you can find that down here at the bottom of your sheet. Now, this is where your status is going to show you where you are. So You should see it right down here at the bottom left hand corner of your screen, and it's always going to give you some indication. Okay, so this area down here is where you can see what's actually going on at the particular time of your interval, whether you're clicking through data or add up some sort of functionality. You can just quickly, take a look down here and see what your status is, and that's going to be, wherever you are in your actual workflow. Okay. So then we're going to talk about Zoom. Now, I know at some point in time we all like to think that we're Superman, Superwoman, but let's be honest, our eyes are just going to fail us, okay? So when it happens, if you look down into the right hand corner of your screen, you'll notice there's a Zoom tab, and then you can zoom in to make things a little bit more visible, or if these are just jumping out at you too far, you can kind of zoom out. Like if you got a lot of data, you need to kind of visualize a grand scheme of things. You don't need to see so much right in your face. You can always zoom out of your screen, and this will give you the opportunity to kind of manage and make these look more useful for your particular use case. So it's going to make that a helpful tool for us to realize where that is. Alright. The next thing is going to be the dialog box launcher. So the dialog box launcher, and for some reason it's not showing up here on this web browser, but if you ever notice here inside of Excel, there's a little tab right here, and let me see if I can get you a visual of what this looks like. Let's see if I can give you something to see what this looks like. Alright, this is a better depiction of all of these tabs that I'm outlining for you. So let's see if I can make this a little bit larger for you, so we can probably should have done this in the beginning. Alright, so this area right here, this little drop down box that you see, these are going to be known as the dialog box launcher, and that just basically allows you to open up the box there, kind of see more advanced settings and options for that particular group, found in many ribbon groups such as the font and alignment. Those are the things that you'll find there. So yes, JP is thank you for that. The full app will have more features compared to what the web app is allowing us to take a look at. So once you get a chance to hop off of this live and take a look at some of the things and features that we talk about, you'll be able to navigate this a little bit better. And also, I'll be sharing a couple of different helpful tools and things of that nature that make this a little bit more smoother for some of us who have a little bit more trouble navigating some of the functionalities of Excel. So what we're going to go to now is the formula bar. And the formula bar is this little area right here. That's where when you type into Excel, say you're going to start your formula here, it's going to be displayed here, and you can see what your formula looks like. It's going to show you the value of the current cell. So if you have some sort of information inside of a cell already, let's say you have everybody agrees with this. Alright, so we're going to say hi, Corey is great. We all know this to be true. And when you select that cell inside of the formula bar, the text is going to show you. So you can select the text, and this will be able to be seen right here in the formula bar. And it makes it easier for situations like what we have here, where some of the data inside of a cell might be cut off, for whatever reasons, whatever format, and this might not be clearly articulated, you can just click that cell, and whatever is aligned inside of that cell should show up in your formula bar, making it much more easier to understand what it is that you're talking about or what it is that you're actually searching for. So it's a powerful tool. Then there's the name box, and the name box is here. And this name box, it just displays the address or the name selected of the cell. So this lets you know that we're in row B, cell 8, and this can be here. So now, once you know that you selected this cell, we can look at the content that's in cell inside of the formula bar, which makes it a lot more easier to kind of quickly take a look at your data and see exactly what's there. And it's going to be located to the top left of the screen or worksheet, just below the ribbon. And to help you navigate some of these things, everybody loves a quick shortcut. So if you hold down the control button on your keyboard and you select the arrow key, you can actually navigate your particular worksheet to wherever you need to go. Instead of having to click over here, we went all the way to the right side. We're going to hit the control back down arrow, which is going to take us to the bottom right corner. Hit the control left arrow, it's going to take us to the left corner, and we're going to go right back up to the top to the control top arrow, which takes us right back to the top key. So that's something that's pretty helpful for when you're trying to navigate a couple of cells. You don't want to actually work with your keyboard as much. You can kind of just use these things to kind of navigate around the actual worksheet. It makes it a lot easier and much more faster to go ahead and get these things moved around for you, especially if you don't have an opportunity to grab a mouse or whatever. You know, that sometimes you just kind of need to move around stuff. So that's a quick tip. And you can also go here to a helpful tool to view, and you can freeze a plane. So let's say that you have some you have a row here that you need to kind of hang on to. You don't want it to move around. You want to be able to make sure that when you navigate your actual worksheet, this stays put. So you can freeze this section, and you can select the section that you want to freeze. And when you do so, so let's say now, while we navigate this worksheet, when we come down and drag our arrow keys, instead of us having to go back up and say, oh, what was that again? We can freeze this plane, and then that can just kind of stay right here. So we're going to test this text, and now we're going to find some more text here, and we need to remember what it is that we're looking for. We're looking for our test text, and see, now we know once we find text here, what is this text for? It's for our test text. So that's a little helpful tool. And to find your freeze plane tab, you just navigate to your view tab here, and you select freeze plane, and that's gonna go ahead and let you freeze whatever plane that you need to. And then again, you can unfreeze it, and then now magically it's gone, but it hasn't left the worksheet. It's actually still here. So that's it. So that's the first section here, just learning some basic functionalities of Excel, where some things are, some of the things that we normally going to use. So hopefully that was helpful for some of you guys. Hopefully for those who know more about Excel, that was something that you say, hey, you know what, I knew how to do those things, but just kind of forgot about what they were called or didn't know the official name for it. Those are the things that you're going to be able to articulate now based off of this training. All right, so For a show of hands, how many of us think that was helpful? How many of us didn't know some of the things that we went across? Okay, Grace, sure. Thank you for that. All right. Good deal, good deal. So we're off to a good start. We're off to a great start here. All right. So we're gonna move on to our next step, which is going to be formulas. Now, we're not going to get too far into formulas, but we're going to touch on a couple of things that some of us normally will probably work with. So you don't need to be a formula wizard just to know a few powerful functions that can change the game. So one of those functions that we're going to be working with the formulas is going to be the equal sum, which is one of Excel's most powerful and beginner-friendly functions. It quickly adds up a group of numbers either in a row or a column, so you don't have to use the calculator, and you can add cells one by one. So let's see here. It's gonna go to A1, and we're gonna just type some random numbers here. All right, and we're just gonna use these numbers just as reference to just some random numbers. We just don't know what it is that we're adding up here. We just got some numbers we're tracking, but now we need a total for what it is that we just entered in here. So we have a couple of numbers here. What you want to do is you want to select the cell right under the last number that you need to have a sum for. So once you have that, you can come over here to this right tab here where you see auto sum, and you select it, and it's going to give you that indication that these are the rows that you want to select. So that's going to be A1 through A5, and we're just going to go ahead and select enter, and then now just magically, just like that, you've created a sum for the actual row that you've created here. So that's a quick little helpful tip. But you can also do the same thing by just typing that in. So we're gonna go ahead and delete that. So let's go ahead and record this number for us for just a second. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. So that was quick and easy, but if you're moving around and you don't have time to search around, like, oh, where'd Corey go to find that and everything like that, here's a helpful tip. You can come right up here to your formula bar, and you can select equal. And once you select equal, and then the regular base Excel should give you some indications of some different formulas and everything like that, but you want to do all caps. You want to type in sum, okay, and then you want to open the parentheses, and you want to type in, and here gives you right now we can see kind of a sample of how to create this formula to make it work for us. So we're going to see here that the cells that we want to work with are over here in the A row. So we're going to just type in capital A1, followed by a colon, and we're going to type in capital A5. Sorry about that. Capital A5. We want to go ahead and close that with the parentheses. Then we're going to go ahead and select enter. And okay. Rule number one: make sure that whatever cell that you want your results to appear, you make sure that you got that highlighted with your marquee. Otherwise, you're going to have an issue like what we just had here, where I selected this. I put in this formula, but it gave me the sum to this row in F9 instead of A6. So we're going to try this one more time. So we're going to do equal, all caps sum, open parentheses, capital A1, colon, capital A5, close colon, and we're going to select enter, and voila, we have our sum of the row. And just to make sure that this formula is actually working, we're going to do something a little bit easier so we can visualize it. So we're going to do equal capital sum parentheses. We're going to do A1, and this time we're going to do colon, and we're going to do capital A2, and we're going to get the sum of this, which should be something around, let's say, 5,000. So there we have it. So that's a quick and easy formula for us. Sum is going to be one of those formulas that I think everybody needs to know, because we're going to always have something that we need to kind of come up with to give us a quick sum to what it is that we're going to need to know. So another tool that we're going to be able to utilize, we're going to probably use a lot of, is average. So now the average is something that's going to be super helpful in Excel. This calculates the average or mean of a group of numbers. If you're tracking things like the monthly expenses or some sort of like score rating or anything like that, a quick snapshot of your overall performance of cost is going to be something that you're going to be able to use this average function for, and then that'll give you the average of what it is that you're looking for. So we're going to do the same syntax for this formula. It's going to be equal, but this time it's going to be average, and your formulas always have to be in all caps. Okay, so we're going to get the average of, let's say, the same range, and you can go ahead and quickly tab. I'm sorry. You can select enter for that range right there, and once you hit enter, it'll give you the average of your numbers. So here's your average of your numbers here. Now we want to see what it is that the average of, let's say, 3 sales here. So let me come down here just for a little bit more visibility. And try it one more time. So we're going to do average, parentheses, say A2 and A3, and we're going to select enter, and the average is going to be 1850. So that's the average of those two numbers. All right, so it looks like we have a hand in the chat. Share, do you have a question, or is that your hand raised from previously? Okay, so I see Justin says that the screen is frozen and you can't see what we're doing. Are you able to see anything now, Justin? Okay, so you need me to slow down a little bit? Alright, so we're going to try to slow it down just a little bit. So is everybody understanding of those two formulas, sum and average, or do we need to kind of go over it a little bit more? Good here? Everybody's good? Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Alright. Good deal. Okay, so Jeremy has a question. So every time you type in sum, you're getting a 0. Do you have like a sample formula, a sample number group that we can kind of go over? So we can maybe, test it out here, see see if it's something on your end or something that we can kind of figure out together. Okay, 600, 821. You need the sum of those two numbers. Alright, so let's clear this up a little bit. And let's try Jeremy's numbers here. We're going to do that right in the front, right in the middle. So we're going to do 600. And this is going to be in row H, cell 22. So we're going to do 821. We're going to do 965. And we're going to do 1542. Alright. So we're going to give us a couple of lines beneath it. So we're going to just type in sum equals. Just spread this out so we can capture this all in one row. Okay. So does everybody see these? Everybody see so far what we have here? We see that we have 4 numbers and we have the sum equals, and then we drop down a couple of rows. Everybody see that? Okay, we all see it. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to select our formula bar. We're going to put in equal, all caps, sum. We're going to do open parentheses. We're going to do capital H, number 22, and followed by a colon, capital H, and that should be 25, which captures all of the rows in question. We're going to close that up, and we're going to select that, and this is the sum of those numbers. So we're able to see that. All right. So was that helpful for you, Jeremy, or did you need to see anything else? Okay. So that's just a couple of formulas. We're not going to be able to get into all of the formulas right now just because, you know, of time and everything like that. But there's so many different formulas that we can get out into, and if we go into some of the more advanced sessions on Tech Thursdays and some of the following, we're going to get into some deeper formulas and some more useful tips to how we can kind of expedite the Excel process. But we just wanted to kind of get a feel for some of the basic things that what Excel has to offer for now. So once we get a chance to move forward, we'll be able to get into a few more helpful formulas and some of the things that you may not even know that exist. But that's cool for now. But I did want to kind of circle back into the file table or the Office Backstage, just to kind of go into a little bit more functionality of what this actual tab is, because we do now have some data in here, and if this data was useful, then we would need to be able to go over into our file table, so we can go ahead and save this data so we didn't lose our content that we've created. Because, you know, how many of us have worked so diligently on a task and gotten to the end of the task, and some strange reason, maybe your computer dies, freezes up, anything can happen. But then now you got to shut down, and all of a sudden everything that you worked on is lost. Yeah, yeah, there's a few choice words, but we have some listening ears up here that just don't need to hear some of the things that you could just come up with. I'm pretty sure. So we want to make sure that we're going to stay into a nice, clean arena and make sure that we're doing the things that we need to. So back in the backstage, you're going to go here over to your Save As tab. And like I said, some of the functionalities aren't shown here because we're in the web version, but there's a Save tab here where if this is something that's already created, you just go ahead and quickly save it. Otherwise, you can select Save As, and it's just like any other Microsoft product. We've all worked with Microsoft to understand that these tabs are here, but just want to kind of go over it so we understand exactly where these things are. So if we wanted to save it, we can select Save. You can save a copy, you can rename it, you can share it, you can download a copy, things of that nature. Same thing, maybe you don't want to share it, maybe you want to print it off, you got a brief that you need to get to, and you're not going to be able to have your computer with you. Go ahead and select Print. Ideally, you would have some print features and things of that nature that would be down here. Those are some of the things that you will find in here. Let's say that you need to create a new worksheet. Right above Open would be a tab here that would say New. So it's not here for some reason, but here would be New. Here is Share. Here you'll be able to share the worksheet. You could export it. So say you needed to change it into some other format, like you needed to change it into a PDF, you would select here. If you needed to change it into a CSV file, you can do that here. And there's also a tab here that would be known as Publish. And the Publish tab would be another tool that if you needed to publish that to where you can now make it accessible to others, you could do that as well from right here. So do those things when you have an opportunity to kind of open up Excel in your sheet, and then you'll be able to do those things a little bit more easier. Thank you, JP. You can also lock a file as well. So let's say that you got a file that you need to share with others, but you just want to share that file as a read-only file, but you don't want people to kind of manipulate the data because things get screwed up. You can lock the file to where it's read-only as well. I don't have that functionality here, but you'll be able to do that as well. But I'll make sure I get that set up for our follow-up session. That way, when we get a chance to follow up with this, we'll be able to unlock some of those features, or we could have at least a screenshot to where we can kind of take a look at some of those things. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next section because time is kind of getting away from us. So I want to cover a few more things before we kind of get out of here. So we're going to talk about customizing your Excel environment so we're working smarter and not harder. So let's close out today with some pro moves that's going to make all of our work smarter, and it's going to be helpful for our time critical tasks, whether you're building out a QA report or prepping some planning metrics, anything like that, analyzing something. We can be able to customize your Excel experience. In this way, you'll be able to do some of the things that you need to do in a manner that's helpful for your particular workflow. All right, so we're going to go up to the Quick Access tab, and here you can change out some of the tools here. So you can drop down your menu here. So I wish I could show you. I didn't realize this web version wouldn't allow me to be able to show you how to customize this tab. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get into this right now because it's kind of a mute point, but we'll just talk about some of the things that you can do. There's a status bar here. that you can access some of the things that's here for you. Let me see here. Let's see if I can get to it. It doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to get into the status bar right now. So, and I apologize. I did not realize that this web version wouldn't allow me to do some of the things that I had set up for this actual training. But I will share these notes with you guys so you can be able to navigate it as a little bit more on your own. That way, I have a helpful tool that I'll share with everyone that's in here. If you can just drop your emails into the chat, or just drop your name in here, I'll be able to search your emails. I can follow the chat, and I'll go ahead and send out that actual note package that I have, and it's full of like illustrations. It's pretty helpful where it shows you like A to B where things are, so you can kind of helpfully navigate these things and hopefully unlock some of the things that I wasn't able to cover here in this initial session. But I'm gonna make sure once I come back for the Thursday session, the more advanced session, I unlock some of these features, even if I have to be able to get a local version of Excel loaded onto the machine so we can do some more functional things. But with that being said, that's kind of all of the things that I really wanted to cover in this basic startup session for Excel. Hopefully help you understand what some of the key terms are for some of the different tabs and tools that we have here for Excel. Also wanted to kind of go over how to basically start off a formula where you would actually enter that data in, some of the quick tabs, navigating around, just a little bit more of an introduction to what the actual tool is, kind of help you understand how to speak the language. And then hopefully once we dive into this more advanced session, it'll give you a little bit more extension to some of your tool sets and some of your working tools that you'll be able to use and enhance your experience here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this back out for right now, because I think we've kind of covered most of the things that I really wanted to cover. Kind of talk about a couple of future topics that we're going to be talking about. So we're going to be talking about tables, pivot tables, project management. We're going to dive into some macros, kind of understanding what they are, how to work with them. I'll show you a couple of other things that's going to be a little bit more advanced than what we normally do here. But some of the guys like Riley and Jeremy, they kind of work with a language called VBA, and that's used exclusively to manipulate some of the data. And that's basically where you can go in and you can basically kind of hard code some of the different like code to make your Excel experience a lot more smoother and a little bit more professional. So you'll notice some of these areas up under here, some of these tabs and things like that. You'll be able to enter a lot of this information in here. So feel free to go ahead and just kind of navigate through some of these tabs. You may have seen some of the stuff that's in here, just didn't know what that stuff was. Maybe some things in here that we talked about and now we've mentioned it, you got a better understanding about it and you just want to know a little bit more about it. Like you can drop down into some of these different tabs and things like that. You'll see there's all different types of formulas and tricks and things like that that you can insert in here to kind of make your experience more useful. I know a lot of us don't actually create the worksheets that we work with, but being able to navigate some of the data and being able to manipulate it in a way that's more useful to what the actual mission is, other than just kind of entering in data or searching through it remedially, will make our work life that much better. And it also gives me a lot of things that I can kind of research for you and kind of give it into a more understandable communication method to where now it feels more like a conversation instead of a directive. So that's really the main focus of why we're having this training, what the live sessions are set out for, why we're recording it. So if there's something that I move forward too fast or we receive some technical difficulties, you can take your time, go back and review the information, coupled with some of the handouts that we're going to be having. and make it that much more easier for you to be able to understand what you do here, and if there's some things that you don't, you at least have a resource to say, hey, let's put our heads together and find out what it is that we do, so it's not that major learning curve that we've all been through. But with that being said, thank you all for showing up. This has been my largest turnout thus far. It helps me out to feel more confident about, relaying the information to you. If you notice some things that I can do to improve this process, that's going to give you that much more confidence in my ability to share this information with you, please don't hesitate to share that with me. I'm here to learn just as much as you are. So by all means, share with me what it is that I can do for you to help you understand what it is that we're doing here. So I'm helping you be a better version of you, and everything that we're here to do at QED is making QED a better company for all of us to remain and be able to, hopefully have a job as long as we plan on working, because hey, that's the name of the game, right? So I don't see any questions in the chat, so we're gonna go ahead and kind of wrap it on up. If anybody has anything, we got a couple of more minutes, just go ahead and share it with me. But other than that, man, thank you so much. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that, man. That makes me feel better, man. Thank you so much. I tell you, this is a hot seat sometimes, and I'm looking at the screen. I don't know if everybody's receiving it, or they're like, man, what is this guy talking about? But thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate that. So you guys have been wonderful. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for continuing to invest your time in supporting this initiative. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, JP. Thank you, Greg, Olivia. Thank you, everybody. If I'm forgetting anybody, just charge it to my head, not my heart. Special shout out to Riley, Jeremy, Heather, Shannon for helping me prepare this information. Because without them, it definitely wouldn't be possible. So everybody chipped in to kind of bring this information. This is a collective. We all kind of, put our heads together. Thank you, Mike, as well. Mike Daniels, he shared a helpful resource that I'm going to be giving out. It's got a lot of different shortcuts and things like that. So thank you guys. Continue to pour into me so I can pour it back into you guys. Share whatever resources that you know that you have, some of the things that you heard, because we just want to make sure that we're, creating a launching pad for success, and that's what we're here to do. So thank you, Tech Tuesday. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and hey man, let's continue this passion. So all right, we're gonna go ahead and shut it on down for the day, but thank you, and hopefully we'll see you on Thursday. And also, one last thing, this recording will be available inside of your talent tool where you take all of your training. You can find it there. So any recordings that you may have seen or missed, just let me know. We'll be able to get it to you, and you'll be able to take a look at it, and hopefully there's something in there for everybody. All right guys, signing off, and see you at the next one.